write the lyrics to change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. It's the verse effect. It's just the verse effect. It's the verse effect. It's the verse effect. It's the verse effect. I write the lyrics to change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same.
Welcome to The Verse Effect, the podcast where we break down the lyrics, stories, and cultural impact behind some of hip-hop's most iconic tracks. I'm Camille.
And I'm Roderick. And today we're diving into one of the ultimate West Coast anthems, Snoop Dogg's Gin and Juice. From its laid-back flow to its unforgettable hook, this track helped define the G-Funk era and put Snoop on the map.
Before we get started, just a quick note. Gin and Juice contains explicit lyrics and mature themes, including drug and sexual references. Our discussion will touch on those elements in their cultural and historical context. Listener discretion is advised.
So, let's roll it back to 1994 and step into the world Snoop was painting. Long Beach nights, G-Funk grooves, and the rise of a new hip-hop superstar. I gotta say, Camille, from the first line, with so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard being Snoop D-O-double-G. That's Snoop laying it out, right? There's this whole world of chaos going on in Long Beach. The LBC, where he's from. That name itself just drips with stories.
Exactly. That's the entryway into Snoop's mindset, but also the mood of the neighborhood. I mean, you're talking about the early 90s. Long Beach was dealing with gang violence, drugs, economic tough times. The so-called drama wasn't just gossip. It was, the stuff people are living. It's like every line is carrying dual weight. On the surface, it sounds smooth, but there's tension running under all of it.
Yeah, it's that duality, right? The laid-back guy cruising with jokes and that detached cool, but still grounded in a place where things can turn serious real quick. That's what made Snoop stand out to me. He could just float over Dre's beats, but those lyrics, they pull you back to the reality he's coming from. G-Funk was genius at this too. The production is all lush and mellow, but the subject matter isn't soft.
And it's not just personal, it's collective. When Snoop opens with that line, he's not just talking about himself. He's talking about surviving and thriving in spite of all that, and everybody in Long Beach who sees themselves in that drama. He makes space for listeners to go, "Yep, I feel that too." It's narrative, but it's also almost communal.
For real. There's a world behind those words, and Dre's soundscape lets Snoop tell it in this almost effortless way.
Then right after that, you get one of the most unforgettable hooks. Rolling down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice, laid back. That's West Coast imagery, turned up to 11. Instantly you see it. The lowrider, the smoke, the sunshine, a kind of carefree excess.
That's it. For folks outside California, that line probably painted a new world. But to me, growing up in Oakland, you see those scenes, Parking lots, backyards, cars full of friends, the party that just sort of wanders from house to house. Indo and gin and juice. It's both celebratory and kind of self-medicating. You're escaping those realities Snoop just mentioned, at least for a while.
I think what stands out too is how chill the vibe is. Compared to, say, East Coast rap at the time, which was much more confrontational, there's an intentional smoothness here. Laid back, he's so adamant about the energy he wants you to feel, and that lightness, that sort of let it ride mentality, was infectious. It was like, let's pause from all that tension, light up and enjoy the moment.
And musically, Dre's production makes it possible. You got George Clinton samples, that bass line, the synths, it's groove over grit, even if what he's talking about is heavy. That hook became an anthem because it's both fantasy and real life all at once. And then came the line that might have ended up on the most t-shirts ever. With my mind on my money and my money on my mind. That's just a mantra straight up.
I love it for how direct it is. It zooms out from the party scene, and you see what's really driving all this: survival and success. In the 90s, hip-hop was becoming more and more about not just telling stories, but about making it, even if making it was just staying afloat. That mind on my money mentality kind of sums up a whole economic philosophy that, well, honestly, a lot of people can relate to, whether or not you ever picked up a mic.
Right, there's something almost proverb-like about it. I mean, you hear Snoop say it, but then it shows up in classrooms, offices, wherever. It just got embedded. The repetition, the rhythm, it drills into your head. That hustler mentality gets celebrated, even as you see the party going on around him. It's about ambition, but it's also about survival. I love that tension.
It also made Snoop more than just a party narrator. He's clever, calculating, not just laid back, but also aware and driven. I think that's why the line stuck around. It holds that duality, fun and focus, indulgence and intention. All right, but then Snoop gets real specific. Everybody got their cups, but they ain't chipped in. I always laugh at that one, but there's truth under it. It's that call-out culture, calling out freeloaders. The folks who show up for the celebration but didn't bring anything to the table.
Oh, everyone's been at that party. It's funny, but it also speaks to how tight resources were. You get a bunch of people together and gotta pool what you got, whether that's money or a six-pack. That's party etiquette. You don't want to be the one just taking. And as much as it's about being fair, it's also, well, it's a little window into survival in those communities. You look out for each other, but you keep folks honest too.
Absolutely. It's a code. Maybe not written down, but everyone knows it. What I love is the way Snoop sprinkles these almost comedic lines into something deeper. He's showing the real rules of the game, the ones people in the community live by every day. It keeps the track rooted, not just in fantasy, but in experience. It makes the glamorous stuff believable, because it's balanced with those little moments of reality.
And honestly, it's those little details that make the track last. People see themselves in it, even if it's just through the party lens. Snoop's a storyteller, first and foremost. Then we get to the most controversial line. But what? We don't love them hoes. It's rough. I mean, that language now, it wouldn't fly in a lot of spaces. But in 90s gangsta rap, being emotionally detached was almost part of the image.
Yeah, there's no way around the misogyny in that phrase. It's part of the macho, hyper-masculine atmosphere of 90s hip-hop, for better or, well, mostly for worse. It's normalized at the time, like this badge of authenticity. Emotional vulnerability was basically forbidden if you wanted to seem tough. I'm not excusing it, but I think if you're trying to understand the world Snoop was performing in, you have to reckon with that tone.
It was complicated, for sure. The player persona, aloof, a little bit cold. Snoop really leans into that, and it drew a line in the sand for what counted as real at the time. That attitude helped him cement his spot, but looking back now, yeah, it's something the culture keeps wrestling with.
And it's part of why he seemed untouchable back then. He wasn't about to get caught up. But you know, authenticity in hip-hop was everything, even if sometimes it came at the cost of empathy. That's a tension the genre's still pushing against and reevaluating now.
Absolutely. Snoop wore that armor like a badge, for better or for worse, just like you said.
So if you take it all together, Gin and Juice is so much more than like a party banger. It's a snapshot, a whole mood of West Coast life in the early 90s. Snoop somehow manages to blend all that humor, the wild nights, the street smarts, all against Dre's unbeatable G-Funk sound. Those deep bass lines, slick synths, it's musical escapism, but it's got real stories underneath.
Totally. It's escapism, sure. There's weed, liquor, sex, all that. But that need for money, for respect, for survival, is there too. Snoop had this flow that was laid back and easy to hang with, but don't get it twisted. He was dropping wisdom and putting real life on wax. It made gangsta rap feel a little more approachable, I guess. More inviting to a wider audience, even as it stayed rooted in something real.
And the impact just hasn't faded. I mean, people still quote "my mind on my money" and "my money on my mind." It's in memes, it's in pop culture. The balance of humor, indulgence, and honesty in that song, it set a template a lot of artists are still chasing today.
For sure. And, you know, it'll keep resurfacing every time someone throws on that record at a cookout or a club. That's the mark of a classic. It's a time capsule, but it's timeless too. Hey, Camille, always a pleasure breaking this down with you.
Always, Roderick. And I can't wait for the next one. There's so many more verses and stories to explore. Thanks for listening, folks. See you next time.
Peace, y'all. Keep your mind sharp and your playlists ready. Gin and Juice showed us how Snoop could turn everyday West Coast life into a smooth, unforgettable anthem. And that laid-back flow still echoes through hip-hop today. Thanks for hanging out with us on The Verse Effect.
If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to follow the podcast, leave us a review, and share it with a friend who loves hip-hop as much as you do. And let us know, What's your favorite Snoop Dogg track and why? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
It's the verse effect, it's the verse effect. I write the lyrics that change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. I write the lyrics that change the game. Nothing's ever gonna be the same. Nothing's ever gonna be the same.